All right, so I got a dry erase calendar.
Like, is it also magnetic?
Well, see, that's the thing. It gave me the option.
Can we throw a dart at it?
Well, you could.
A magnetic one.
Yes. Well, so the way I looked at it was it's like, oh, well, you can either like put a sticky on it and stick it to something, or you could put these magnets on it. And it's like, well, seems like long term I would rather have the magnets on it. What if I ever want to change where it is once?
Yes, exactly. Magnets are better.
Yeah.
But I thought your option was whether or not the front of it was magnetic.
No.
Is it?
Yes.
Tight. We can't throw a dart at it.
And welcome to another episode of Requiem for a Tuesday, ladies and germs. It's your boy Adam Pecora here, the Picky Peck. Here with the main man, the G-Spot,
That's me. I'm G-Spot.
George L. Richter.
L. Richter. The one
What's the L stand for?
late.
True. You know what?
Is that Escante?
That's Escante.
Bada boom.
It's about to get crazy up in this piece.
Oh, yeah. Few things make my mouth water like a fresh cut mate.
A fresh cold mate on a vacation is maybe one of the most orgasmic moments you can have.
It's like how most people feel when they drink coffee on a weekend. You know, you don't need it.
Yeah, but you give me a car going 100 miles an hour, you give me a cooler full of mates.
They could be warm. Well, room temperature.
Yeah, at least room temp. But
Have you had a
I'll
hot
be zooming.
mate before?
It's not good.
No, it's terrible. 'Cause like I got the old Tokyo Switch pulled on me 'cause I thought it was a fresh one, but it was in my cup
What
holder.
does that mean? That sounds racist.
It sounds like a movie.
Is that like Indian giving?
No,
A Tokyo Switch?
a Tokyo Switch. Yeah, I don't know what that's from. It might be racist. Yeah, it's just something. It's something I'm repeating.
Those
I'm
damn
sure.
Japs.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a good thing though. It sounds like wow,
Does
that was
it?
slick. Yeah, you pulled it off. It was like so good you didn't even know.
Okay.
That's
Continue.
what I thought anyway. Thought it was about the craftsmanship in this. Maybe it's the ocean is living in me. Hot mate, drank one, and then even worse than that, once I drank one that I ashed in.
Ugh.
Oh, dude,
Well, that's
and
never
that
a
one
good
was hot
period.
too. It was like the same week.
You ever flick your ash while you're walking down the street and the wind blows it right back into your mouth?
No,
I've had that happen. It's not great.
I've had it like fly back in.
Luckily,
my
I was
car.
right by my apartment. I immediately brushed my teeth.
You had ash teeth.
It was nasty. I almost threw up on the street. Like
Yeah.
it tastes. Just as you would expect an ashtray to taste, I guess. But
Which is weird.
You can-
that you already know.
yeah, but the experience is much worse than the thought, I must say.
Yes, absolutely. You ever had someone like describe something, like that a smell is like something else tastes, or like vice versa?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird how they're so closely tied? Like when you're like trying to take a shot without a chaser, a good way to like power through it is just like not breathe for a couple of seconds. 'Cause if you're not,
Sure.
because you're not breathing through your nose, like you taste less, if anything at all.
I can just handle my alcohol, but sure.
Well, I know, but like I mean, that's just like another thing that proves the concept.
Well, good to know. Now I know how you ladies do it.
Well, I gotta stay classy. Can't be drinking all the sugars and the sodas. The
Oh,
chasers.
speaking of which, went out this past weekend.
You're not
This
dressed like
girl was. It had to be night one back out on the streets for everybody. This girl was spread eagle in a chair, puking like a fucking fire hydrant.
it. Ooh.
Unconscious, basically. People helped her eventually, but it was wild.
Damn.
I was like, Jesus, watch my feet. You know what I mean?
These are collector slides I got on.
Well, it's like I did have slides on. That was the thing. My socks were disgusting by the time I got home.
From the puke?
No, just from being at a bar. Multiple
yeah.
bars.
Exposed
in
socks.
general,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was great. It's great to be back, I gotta say. It's great to be back.
Yes.
We're back.
We're back.
I'm vaxxed. I'm back.
Did you go maxless?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? You could do that if you got the Vax card?
No, there was just no policing it at all. It's over. We're done.
Everyone's just like, bet, run it.
Yeah, trust me. How could you have stopped a bar full of lunatics? Like, there was no way.
I don't think
It's
they
over.
ever-
Which it should be anyway, because it's over for me. So that's all that matters
That's
to
true.
me. You know?
Yeah, it's fair. Fair assessment.
Roswell that ends well.
Take me to the moon.
So I was going to talk to you about Invincible, George.
I love it.
I know you do. So
This is an attack.
it was hilarious. No, it was just hilarious that I was like, okay, this show's really good. Superhero show. Better talk to George about it. And you're like, I already recommended that to you, and you destroyed it.
Yes,
And that's hilarious, but there's no way you could have explained it well.
I literally did.
No,
I
but you
explained
definitely
exactly what it is. I said,
no.
what did I say?
I don't know
Ah.
because I don't even remember you telling me about it. So that's
Yeah.
how I know that you
'Cause
couldn't
you
have explained
you
it
tuned
well.
out after superhero, and I don't blame you. I back
Well,
a lot
see,
of dumb
yes,
shit.
see, that's what's tough. That's what's tough. What
Yeah,
drew
you
me
gotta
in?
do the work.
What drew me in was the animation style.
Yes, I don't know how to describe it. What words do you have for it? Because it is.
I
part of
don't
what
know.
like.
True to comic is one way I would say. Also, just like vintage cartoon, but that's all that. Like the way Batman was, but even like the way like Scooby Doo was, kinda.
Yeah, like
but with way
relatively
more-
realistic.
But with a way higher budget and way more frames, you know. So
Yeah.
that's why I just compare it like Batman the animated series and all that.
yeah,
but
but definitely the art, like even still.
That's
you
what
know?
those shows were going for, though. Too, I feel like they were going for like true to comic.
You think
look.
so? Oh, I just thought that that's what they liked.
Oh, I don't know.
'Cause
It
I never
maybe
read
not
those comics. I
explicitly.
didn't know it's from real comics until
Me
I started
either.
watching it.
Me either, but I like that style, whatever you would call it. So that drew me in. Although
like
weirdly,
J.K.
I noticed
Simmons.
in the last episode that it almost looked like anime a little bit. I think that they like,
I was getting those vibes from the very beginning, on and off. Not
Ah,
entirely.
yeah, there were some moments.
There was like a pretty musical, like dudes flying in for one of like the first times, and that music that was playing, that was a very anime moment.
Well,
for
there
me.
was just some moments where I think that they just didn't have the budget for certain scenes, or they used more of their budget on other scenes, so they had to cut frames, and that's basically just what did it. Because like the drawing style doesn't change, but the animation changes, but it makes it look completely different somehow. But it also, I'm totally fine with it because the action scenes were like insane. They were super long and like super brutal,
yeah.
unexpectedly.
And it's yeah, it wasn't like, I mean, it was definitely gory, but not like, I don't know, it was good. I don't know.
Really good. I feel like, I don't know. I had heard somewhat of a buzz about it, like right after I had finished it.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't know it was coming out weekly. So I happened to turn it on like right after the last one came out, which
How
was
many
2 weeks
total were
ago.
there?
8.
Okay, yeah. Then I
But they're
definitely saw 'em all.
45 minutes, which is crazy for a cartoon, which is
Yeah.
cool though too.
Seth Rogen was pretty cool. Did you catch him?
You
You watched it all, right?
Yeah, I definitely finished
You know
it.
the guy that how much are you into saying on the air about it?
All of it, I don't care.
Oh, tight. Okay, cool. I tried. And then,
Nobody's gonna watch it.
yeah.
Or ideally, people have already watched it and they're just listening in. That's the goal.
Yeah, I just didn't want to step on any hopes and dreams, you know. But the dude that flies in and then checks in on the planet, you know, like. And
Oh
like-
yeah, the Mars guy.
Yeah, that,
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
talk like without, because he can't breathe out there, so they
Right.
talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
That's-
was good.
that's dude.
The whole cast was incredible, honestly, top to bottom, a lot of hitters.
It's one of the things I said out loud.
I will say the shit with his girl was pretty fucking stupid.
Oh yeah,
Like,
how is being a superhero not a panty dropper immediately?
well, also she admitted that she knew he was a superhero, but the reason she broke up with him was that he abandoned them. But she knew he was a hero, so she knew that he didn't abandon them. Then retroactively.
Yeah, I agree with you. It all is ridiculous, but her bit was, you could have told me. How come I'm not important enough to know your secret identity?
Yeah, see, it's just like you're not important enough. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's just like you're a fucking idiot and you're gonna die. That's what you don't get.
But they always
How
do that.
does no I get it. Like that's just the conflict that they have to have, I guess, to have one. But How about we just don't? Because it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
the idea of
Wouldn't-
the secret identity being to protect those people.
Right, exactly.
like,
Why isn't she
obviously-
like, oh my God, thank you for not putting me in harm's way more
Yeah.
frequently. Thank you for trying so hard to avoid me getting killed.
Yeah. Meanwhile, looking like an asshole, even though you know you just saved the city.
Oh, like, sorry, I'm fucking late for dinner. Like, Jesus Christ.
yeah, honey, I forgot
Fuck
the loaf
you.
of bread you
We're
asked for.
17. What the fuck? Like,
yeah, that too.
like, Jesus. This girl has the highest fucking expectations I've ever seen.
Maybe they're realistic.
That's the thing. Jesus, these. I once had a girl tell me that.
You couldn't fly fast enough.
Basically, no. But that, like, Disney was at fault for setting her expectations of men unrealistically.
Because you can't sing like Aladdin.
No, because of, like, princes and shit. But also, it's like. I don't even know how to compare it. It's like, you think I was watching Toy Story and thinking I could be a cowboy? It's like, no, I'm not a fucking moron. You know what I mean? I can distinguish what's a movie and what isn't.
Yeah, and it wasn't Disney that invented any of those notions. They just made money.
Well, who cares either way? But it's just like what does that even mean?
Is she the princess? Because isn't that like even bad? Isn't that also bad?
Yeah, it's like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Right?
Yeah, all of it is just like.
The whole thing is.
Am I supposed to be? Have I been watching things wrong my entire life? Am I supposed to be putting myself in the shoes of everybody and everything?
I don't know if you're supposed to, but that's definitely the idea. Sometimes.
Well, that would make everything even worse then. So I'm glad I don't do that.
No, wait, hold on. I think because I said that, but I think like that's what they sell you. They sell.
Right. Yeah.
But like you shouldn't. I don't think you necessarily have to.
No.
Most times
you
definitely
shouldn't.
Don't. A lot, because if I put myself in the shoes of a lot of my favorite characters and shows, I'd be in some rough shape.
Yeah, I mean, just the idea that like. How would that set any, like, I don't know. That's just the same idea of like video games causing violence. Just like, doesn't make any sense. It's like, how is this changing your mind? You're just watching a fucking movie.
Adults make video games.
What?
Where did they learn the violence from?
Well, yeah, right. It's all imaginatory. Is that a word?
Imaginarium is.
Well, there we go.
I think if you work backwards from there, we got it.
Yeah, I don't know how we got to this part, but Invincible's dope.
Yes.
I don't like that he chose the name Invincible. They did riff on it, but it's just like,
I like the
opener,
stupid. How they cut him off when he's about to say
it. It looks good. Yeah.
And then like
more blood every time too.
Yeah. I didn't catch on at first.
The reveal about his dad, I got to say, like, there was going to be one, obviously. I didn't think it was going to be that harsh. It was pretty extreme, and I respect it. I liked it.
I smelled the Nazi coming, like, right when he started, like, talking to people differently, and I'm like, oh, you're one of those, aren't you? Like, because he was like, oh, yeah, we're just basically in the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
And, like, oh, my God. And then when he's explaining how long... like how short or how insignificant time is for him compared to all the other humans.
The thing is just that, like, they did a cool thing in that it's like a hodgepodge of every comic ever, basically.
Yeah, many tropes.
But that's all every comic is that no matter what. And they took a lot of the good ones, I guess, but yeah, it's
I haven't read the comic.
That explanation, I think, is so dumb. Like the time thing, that's just never gonna be that effective, because no person watching can perceive it either.
I just meant that, like,
so
the
you know
way
what I mean?
J.K. Simmons delivered that was rad.
He was very
dozen thing.
He was very good at being
intense.
The
same way.
Yeah, he was good at being intense, I would say.
I like it. I like that guy. You know when you recognize a voice of some guy before you really look it up or check, and you're like, I fucking know I know that person. He sounded so familiar until I finally figured it out.
Oh, I just knew it right. Yeah, I mean,
I really because I put
to answer your question, yes, I heard his voice and I knew it was him immediately.
I put myself in Invincible shoes immediately, so
yeah.
that was only my dad.
Right. But yeah, great cast. The entire thing. But yeah, without a doubt, J.K. Simmons stole it. Like, he was better than everybody
Mm-hmm.
because he was convincing that he was a good guy. I thought that there kind of would be a logical explanation for him murdering all those superheroes.
Or at least cop out and like, oh, you
At least try to have some excuse, maybe even. But
Yeah.
nope, he was just like, no, we're going to skip straight to the genocide. There's not even going to be a transition.
Well, maybe they weren't sure they were getting season 2. They're like, oh, let's skip a couple issues ahead here.
Yeah. I know the comic lasted pretty long. I looked it up after. It's like 100-something issues. So there definitely could be a long-running show. And it got renewed for 2 more seasons.
That's how it works.
So there will be more to come, which is dope.
If you get 1 season, you'll have 3 at least.
But as
total.
long as they don't fuck up and stop paying. Like One Punch Man season 2 is a tragedy. It had
Haven't
no
seen
budget. It's basically just the same thing as reading it. There's like no animation. There's just a bunch of like cuts to
Yeah.
different stills. It's so low quality. Whereas the first one was so high quality, and it was so intricate and crazy, and they got rid of all of that.
What?
It's awful to see. So I don't think that would happen to Invincible. From what I gather, it must be pretty popular if it got renewed. So I hope that that's the case. Because it was
I would have
good.
to agree.
It was good. So, it has the annoying regular parts of superhero-ness.
Yeah.
But in the long format, it's able to get into the parts of the storylines that make it
Like
worth
with
watching,
Robot?
like the whole point. But like, I'm just saying, like, the Marvel movies and stuff, like, they'll have the relationship stuff, but there's never any depth to it because it has to it's so minuscule
they're
and
too busy setting movies. 10 years
yeah,
in the
there's too
future.
much going on. Well, either way, just even in like a 2-hour movie, when it's like the D plot is the relationship, that means it gets 10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
But when it's 8 hours, you
have
can
so much time.
you can dive into all these relationships and stuff, and that's why it's good. Like, most of the show is not about superhero shit, and that's why I like it.
Yeah, ideally, that's what you want.
And then when it is, they lose like half the fucking time.
Yeah.
Which I also enjoy. Like, it's not some guaranteed shit. The only guaranteed shit is his dad, who ends up being the fucking ultimate villain. Spoilers. Sorry.
Well, sorry. We'll put that in the title.
Yeah,
for you.
there's been spoilers the whole time. We already gave the warning, but I'm just saying.
That's true. My hesitance should have at least got you to watch it.
It doesn't
first.
matter, yeah, but it just nailed it. Like, it hits all the shit you don't want to see, but it does it in all the best ways. So it's just like you can't really fault it because there is no superhero story without the same beats. Like, they just have to be there. It's just
Because then
it's
just
in
not.
the fabric of it. I couldn't conceive a way to do anything else.
Yep.
Like,
It definitely only kept the
So-
necessary stuff.
right, like, it did all the best parts, and then like having the Justice League people like also kind of have powers and stuff too, and like like a good mix of all that.
Yeah, in like different ways.
And them even basically admitting that like the Superman guy, it's kind of he's OP. Like, they just say it, like
True.
it does kind of like diss
Didn't they
Superman.
say he was like basically Abe Lincoln? Like, that's who we remember as Abe Lincoln. Like, they said it was that guy.
Did they?
Yeah, 'cause that guy's like bit is that like when he gets killed, he always comes back to life. Like, since he was a caveman or something.
Oh, you're talking about that guy that those clone guys rebirthed, or no?
Oh, that is who I was talking about.
Yeah, because that's not Omni-Man.
Omni-Man is the guy when they're like, hey, he's basically OP. Is that what you're saying?
That's Invincible's dad. Yeah.
I got my wires crossed. I thought you were talking about dude, 'cause he was pretty badass.
Yeah, but it was also, I will say, that guy was badass. It was disappointing that he got brought back to life and like immediately like didn't even really make an impact. It shows how cool Omni-Man is, but
We already knew.
you're right, exactly. There's no reference of how cool that other guy is at all because he just got killed the first time we saw him.
I think that's why they gave him Abe Lincoln.
Maybe.
Because they're like, at least he did.
I don't
that.
know. I'm just finding things to nitpick, really. Overall, it was
And
solid.
you really got to
but-
look for this
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there was just like little moments that were like, And again, like if I would assume it was incredibly faithful to the source material. There's, how much could they have diverted if they made it that long and put that much time into it? Seems like they.
Yeah. If it ruffled feathers, I feel like I would have read that already. You know what I mean? Like people.
Yeah,
People will
everything I've
scream if
seen
it's
has
not
been like,
accurate.
yo, we all agree that this shit's great.
Yeah. And I think it's 'cause they went right to business and got an all-star
Which,
cast.
yes, that's a big move for sure. But also like just nailing it is great because like Spider-Verse was one step and now like this is another step, and it's like if we can just keep doing superhero animation and giving it like the proper time and care and showing like what putting the right effort in is and like doing the correct medium and stuff, like it's better, clearly. Like these things are working on more than a financial level. Like everybody really likes it on like a memorable scale.
Like the court of public
Like,
opinion.
yeah, but like also, but like critical too. Like you'll remember it for more than the weekend you watch it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's got rewatch already.
Right. I would watch it again for sure. There's a whole bunch of shit going on that I probably don't even remember.
Exactly. Anything that builds a nice universe is definitely worth a rewatch 'cause then you get to find the little bits and pieces. It's like playing the same game over and over again.
Yeah, and I also like even though it probably was hella expensive, there's no way it's as much as like doing a 2.5 hour movie filled with CGI when you could make a season of a show
Yeah.
with that quality animation. Like I don't know.
Ideally,
It's like
yeah.
that's like I would just love to see that. Like, can we just put the focus on the writing for once?
Yes.
That's all I've ever asked for.
Yeah, 'cause
In my-
when you're making an animation, somebody just writes it only, and it's an animation, so they can do mostly anything that person makes up.
Exactly. Like, here's the thing. Like, all that Invincible made me think of is like, wow, if they did Watchmen like this,
Yeah, that's
8 hours, drawn just in this exact style, maybe a little bit, darker, more, you know what I mean? But whatever.
Yeah,
Drawn just like the comics.
'cause like watching
And
the
actually
movie,
get into the depth, because that's the thing. Like, Zack Snyder did all the sizzle, but the steak isn't there. Like, and I think that's a book that's like hard to adapt.
it's a fat book. It's not a series of comics stapled together.
And there's just so many subplots and so much going on. There's the past people, and then there's the current thing, but then there's there's just multiple layers of everything.
How long is the movie? Like almost 3, 4.
It's super long. Yeah,
Even that's
it's
not
already
enough, because
3.5 hours, I think.
It still feels like I fell asleep through most of it, even though I didn't.
Right, and he put a lot of focus on the action, which the comic isn't about. But it's a movie, you have to sell it to people, so like that has to be there. But the character stuff doesn't get done as well. I thought he nailed Rorschach, which is pretty much the
Honestly,
most important part, but there just wasn't enough for it to be there. And I think at one point it was going to be a cartoon. I don't know whatever happened with that, if that's still in the pipeline or not. That would be sick.
afterwards.
But yeah, I think it was announced around that time. Now, maybe the HBO series.
Change the timeline.
Yeah, and maybe it got re-announced with that, and that's what I'm thinking of. But I haven't heard anything about it in a long time, so I really don't know.
Do we know if there's gonna be more of that HBO series? Is that what you're saying? You don't know?
No, well, for the HBO series, Damon Lindelof said he's not doing it. So if they continue it, it'll be with different people, so it could easily, if they do, it could easily suck, but as of right now, I think that there's no plans.
Yeah, I
He
thought it was
wrote
cool.
it as a one-off thing. I still haven't finished it.
Don't.
Well, I like Damon Lindelof a lot. He did The Leftovers. I think that's probably one of the best shows ever made. But he also did Lost, so it's like,
Tight.
I don't really care. I don't really care about that. But I don't know.
I liked it. I don't
He's
know.
done great stuff. And Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the score. You know what I mean? I'm into it. It's just that like it's a lot.
There's a lot of good stuff to watch right now.
Well, I just started this new show, Hacks, on HBO Max.
Does it rhyme on purpose?
I hope not. That would be upsetting.
Let's go with the not.
My only thing with it is that they labeled it as a dark comedy, and that's It's not. It's just a regular comedy that would be on HBO.
What
It's a
makes
dark
them think
comedy,
that?
I think, because one, it's labeled for HBO Max, and that's just different, and two, it's worried about its subject matter includes like someone who's canceled and things like that.
So it's like, hey, let me get in front of this.
So like, yeah, we're just gonna call it dark just because like they swear and are mean to each other.
So that way when anyone cries.
But like at least through 2 episodes, there's no like twist where it gets really dark and someone's like cutting their wrist or like whatever. There's like literally zero dramatic elements in it so far.
Isn't that what makes it a dark comedy?
Correct,
Yeah.
right. So it's like not a dark comedy. It's just, it's a little bit off color. And ultimately the jokes are super tame, like, but it's a pretty good show. So like
Yeah,
I'm just
we're
upset.
arguing about
I'm
the
upset
label.
with it being described as that, but it ultimately is a pretty decent show. I'm going to continue to watch it. It's being dropped weekly.
Tight.
So that's cool. I'm excited. I love HBO Max. It's a really great service. And they just Time Warner just announced that they're merging Discovery with it. So like Discovery Plus may already be obsolete. Who knows what's going to happen with that? They might just interconnect
What's
them.
Discovery Plus?
I don't know.
Because I thought Disney Plus had some Discovery stuff. Or am
I think it
thinking of
has National Geographic stuff on it.
That's the one.
Yeah, so Discovery Plus. Yeah, it's too much. Well, Paramount Plus is apparently good too. That's a new one. That's a thing. There's a million of them. There's too many. I'm sticking to HBO. And I have Hulu and ESPN, you know.
I mean, like, if I had all of them,
I
would spend
you
more.
Couldn't have all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be $150 a month, yeah, to have all of them.
More. I'm thinking more. There's
Yeah,
so many.
there are so many. There's a horror one.
It's like, well, let's do cable again, but we'll start like from the beginning.
Yeah, you're just gonna pay per channel. It's terrific.
Some of them advertise that way. Only buy what you watch. It sounds like I'm paying the same no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm adding this because who gets rid of their cable service? Like as far as like boomers go, like they're
They don't.
not gonna. Yeah, they're
They
just gonna
don't.
add.
My dad switched to fucking Dish. He's just going backwards.
Yeah, but
It doesn't make any sense. It's like, what are you
some
doing
guy
with a
pitched it
dish?
good. I don't know.
Yeah. I was like, dude, just get Sling. Sling makes sense as a service.
Yeah.
I could buy into that. You're allowed to fucking DVR stuff. It's the same. That's the same thing as having all the streaming services. Then it's just having cable.
Bada boom.
Like pick one, but like I don't know. I don't want all of them. I don't want to watch everything. You know, if something's gonna be good enough, it needs to be in a place where I can see it. If I don't like that, that's where we're heading now. It's like, well, everything is behind an individual paywall.
Exactly. Bad news.
It's just like you're gonna have to seek out quality stuff.
Yeah,
It's now becoming harder to see things, which defeats the whole purpose of the internet and streaming services in themselves. Because now they're being divided up so far that it's like there are shows that you don't even know that they exist with people that are like super famous. That's what's crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
because there's so much out there.
Yeah, there's just so many
or you
just
might never see
buried. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and because everyone's getting spied on their phones, like ads are tailored in a certain way, so like you might miss something you'd actually spend a bunch of money watching.
Absolutely, yeah. And like on Amazon, they don't give a fuck about streaming. Streaming is so insignificant of a thing to Amazon as a company. That's why like anybody that thinks that they're like a significant thing to be reckoned with in streaming, it's just like it's just a little pet project to them. So it's like, yeah, maybe they'll decide to spend way more billions, but no matter what, like they'll never care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they can spend all the money they want. It's never going to be the best because they don't want to be the best. It's just data and money. It's data and money. Amazon doesn't care about quality with anything. So that's why I have no interest in things that are on it. It's like, oh, it's on Amazon. They fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't, because like their life is fine. You know what I mean? But like, I'm not gonna watch it, and I wouldn't want my shit to be on there.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe more.
It's like, oh, check out my TV show. It's on Walmart.com. It's just like, no.
Yeah. When
that's
Facebook
fucking
started
stupid.
doing TV shows, I was like, yep, the world's over.
Right. Well, that's the
Facebook
thing.
TV.
It's just like if I was gonna make, if that was my option to be on Facebook TV, it's like, I'd rather just find a way to DIY produce a show and then put it on my Facebook. if I had one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because then you'd be making
instead,
the money.
right? Because it's just gonna be
Facebook would
the same platform, and then I can just make the money off the views. So it's just like, why are you doing that? Like, why would I want to be on YouTube paid? YouTube is free.
Music. What do you feel about that?
Stupid.
Right?
Stupid.
What?
They have to give up. Apple and Spot, like, you know what I mean? You're too late.
Yeah, what happened? How come Spotify is like a contender? Did they just do it the best first? And so they got
yeah,
to
well,
stick
they got
around?
the head start on streaming. Apple came out with theirs way later, but
Oh, so Spotify beat Apple to the scene.
well, did they?
I'm asking because it
Well,
seems like they
let me
didn't, 'cause
ask you.
iPods
You have an iPhone, right?
had yep, been.
Where do you
been?
Okay, let's say you get a brand new iPhone, right?
Where
Where do you go to get Spotify,
the App Store.
which is owned by Apple? So Apple wins every time. Every time Spotify gets downloaded, they make money.
Ah, okay. So like, as Spotify lives.
So
because
no
it's
matter what,
rad,
like no
and
matter what
lets
Apple
them live.
like, yeah, Spotify is a great product. Apple owns the store. So it's like, yeah, good for you. And like the users are comparable in numbers, but also Apple's like about to change their whole thing. They just announced lossless audio streaming
Oh,
for
so
free included. I don't know if Spotify has that. I literally know nothing about Spotify's features because I have it on my phone just because I can listen to podcasts while I play video games because there's a Spotify Xbox app. So that's the only reason I have it. I have it strictly for podcasts. I don't pay. I don't know any of the features. I just know that whenever I bring up any new Apple Music feature to somebody, they're like, "Bro, Spotify's had that." And it's just like, okay, dude. Like, I'm not in this.
Why do people do that? I don't like when people do
Well,
that.
because the iPhone, Android has been a thing forever, and it's funny. Like, people that are on the iPhone side of that will still like diehard rep Spotify. It's like, who fucking cares? It's like
I just
a unit,
it.
like. Yeah, I mean, same. That's the thing. Like, I used to be like that when I was like 16. Everything used to be like that for me.
Yeah. Do or die, motherfucker. Or
But-
don't or die.
Yeah, but I was just a virgin. You know,
That's
like,
all it was.
like, yeah, that was the problem. I didn't actually give a fuck. You know, I was just miserable inside.
It's
Like,
just like the saddest mating call I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
I just needed help.
Yeah. Well, thank God we made it out.
But yeah, so like now I don't care, but I'm glad that they're doing that. But Apple is like investing a lot. That's the thing; they always go late to a lot of stuff. They'll be first to things that people don't like. You know, like getting rid of their ports and blah blah blah, which ends up never mattering, and they're always right in the end. You know, because they set the trends.
Yeah, they do.
It is just how it works. You know, like whether you agree with the moves or not, I don't half the time. I thought the headphone jack thing was crazy at first. It literally doesn't phase me at all ever.
Yeah, I use
So.
AirPods now. I think that was.
I got
probably
wireless
half of
stuff
it,
too. But also it's just like don't have a shitty battery anymore. Like upgrade your phone and then it also won't be a problem because how often you charging this fucking thing, you know. But like yeah, so they drop their streaming service after and now they're dropping the lossless thing in it included for free. That's a big feature. But like they're overhauling their entire podcast thing now, like super late, where Spotify had been like putting all this money into it.
It's like one of the. That's what I
Also
use for it,
dumping
too.
money into exclusive deals, which Apple I don't think gives a fuck about that because they don't need to take any competition. They don't care. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, why does Apple care about having podcasts? Like, they're Apple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're.
So it's
fine.
just like, oh, Spotify's destroying Apple in the podcast. Yeah, it's like, so? Oh, no. Apple's going to fall apart because they have less podcast listeners. It's like,
Oh no.
what is that, 3% of like 1% of their revenue? You know what I mean? It's like, it means nothing.
Is there a way to find
But-
stats on like iPhone users?
Well,
'Cause
so this is the thing. Spotify is doing all that with their charts and all this and constantly updating. Apple's going to do it in one big haul. They announced basically they're just doing Patreon within Apple Podcasts. Like there's going to be subscription options. And then Spotify announced that too later. So Patreon's probably going to be in trouble soon.
because that's all they had.
Yeah,
And
they
now-
offered the one thing that they couldn't, and now it's just going to be included in there.
Mm.
Maybe Spotify will just buy Patreon is a prediction, but it seems like they're both just developing their own, and it might just get cornered, or it might just stay. You know, it could easily. It might just stop rising in popularity. You know, it might plateau
Yeah, because everyone's got
because
an
you can just
iPhone.
go direct to Apple or Spotify with it, or both.
Honestly, it just depends on the people on Patreon, what they do.
I mean, Tim Dillon's doing pretty well.
That's what I'm. Well, I mean, if he stays with them, then he'll continue to do well there. 'Cause it's
Well,
not
yeah,
like-
that's the thing.
it's just if he leaves, then and other people like him leave.
But yeah, so they're gonna start having more analytics available in Apple Podcasts too, and it's basically just gonna be the same as Spotify. And I don't know, Spotify can keep competing and it can win, but it ultimately won't win. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
It'll win in streaming, sure, but like,
it might make it on my phone till I die, but ultimately, no. I don't know.
yeah, and I mean it's a good app. I like using it for podcasts. It's better right now. It is better to use for podcasts than Apple's podcast app.
I have zero
Apple's
experience,
podcast
though.
app needs to be overhauled, and I think that's what
It's
they're
a
gonna do.
separate app.
Yeah.
Ah, that's another bummer. Spotify switch gears from music to podcast, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that they're separate apps. I don't really care. They should be. Spotify did a good job of compartmentalizing it so you can't really tell.
Yeah, and it's starting to get good. Like when you search stuff, it knows like
But-
it won't give you a random song name first. Like it'll like
Yeah, right.
if the podcast is more popular, that's what you'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah. They've put a lot more emphasis into like their importance within the app and all that. And yeah, they did a good job of you being able to navigate between music and podcasts, but I don't know. Podcasts deserve their own app.
Yeah,
Not that they need one. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't bother me.
well, for the general public, I bet. I mean, 'cause that's what we were talking about before. You know, 'cause Patreon can get absorbed just by Apple and Spotify.
Yeah, I didn't
doing
know that.
that.
I didn't know that. I found that out recently too.
Yeah, but it's
Which
by the
makes
same
me-
concept.
Oh, for sure. No, I was just saying that makes me way more interested in subscribing to people's Patreon because I thought that I would need to. Yeah, I thought that I would need to use Patreon to listen to Patreon exclusive stuff. Finding out you don't have to is pretty cool.
What do you mean by what you like? You need
Oh,
to use.
What? I feel like when I talk, I'm very articulate and I say exactly what I mean.
No, I
and
just got
speak
confused.
English.
No, I heard exactly what you said.
I don't think, dude. I mean, I think we've established that you don't listen at all. You just wait to talk.
Damn, no, that's not what I was doing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess I just got twisted up.
So if you subscribe to someone's Patreon, you can just listen to it in Apple Podcasts.
That's the part I was confused about.
I didn't know
realize
that.
that.
I didn't
part.
know that.
Yeah, me neither. And that's why I got confused.
I thought you were saying you did know that.
No, that's why I was just asking why it was a bummer, but it's not a bummer.
Right. Well,
But isn't
anyway,
that
so I
dangerous?
found that out recently.
Right, because isn't that going to keep people off of the real Patreon? Or that means you can continue to pay through
No,
Patreon.
you're just paying through it. Yeah. Because it's an RSS feed. Here's the thing.
That'll keep them afloat.
For people that don't know the inside intel of the glorious world of podcasting, you don't upload your podcast to anybody. You upload your podcast to one place, and then you just basically get a link. And then that link routes it to different places. So your Patreon feed is just a separate link. That's all that it's doing.
Yes.
So then you can, like, any podcaster can then take that link and put it through a thing, and you can listen to it anywhere. Like, where you listen to it doesn't change it. That's why everybody puts their podcast on, like, 50 platforms, because it doesn't matter where it's being listened to. That doesn't change anything about it.
Tight.
You still have to go to Patreon to start, like, no matter what. So, like, they're going to get theirs.
That's
you know.
good. I hope so. I mean, they've been paying
But again,
away.
probably not for long.
Yeah.
Once these other ones start coming up and they start, like, once people start switching over, I'm sure Spotify's going to do more exclusive deals and be on some more bullshit.
They're going to start doing fucking movies.
Yeah. I mean, they fucking built a video thing just so Joe Rogan could be on there.
Really?
Yeah, if you play an episode of Rogan, it shows up in video on in Spotify.
Amazing.
And they're literally building out a comments section so it can be like YouTube. I mean, they fucking spent $100 million. They might as well do it right, get all their money's worth, because the videos haven't been going up anywhere. He's not allowed to use YouTube anymore.
Really? I'm so far removed.
It's exclusive, yeah.
He's not allowed to or doesn't use YouTube.
I mean, he could use one for other stuff. The show can't come out on YouTube.
Ah, okay.
The show is on Spotify exclusively.
Yeah, I thought for a second that maybe Joe did something to be like, hey, you gotta stay off YouTube, kid.
No.
That's what I thought for a second.
No, YouTube wouldn't do that. They're not stupid.
They like money.
Yeah.
That's fun. Do you think he'll do another YouTube show?
No, he's doing it. What do you mean? It's just on Spotify now.
I know, but like, do you think he'll do one that he can also put on YouTube and have a YouTube exclusive
No,
simultaneously?
No, because Spotify's free.
True.
That was what his point was the whole time. He's like, look, I'm just making a lot of money, but nothing's going to change. I'm still going to be on a free thing. You just got to go to this one specifically.
He's literally got to yell that at people.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Trying to make more money.
He said it like a million times.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't say the money part, but that's the reason to do any of it, you know.
Anything, really, yeah. Especially in that, anything entertainment when you're moving for seemingly needlessly.
I mean, that is so much fucking money. It's crazy.
Cheddar, cheddar, cheddar.
What a guy.
You know how kings have gold and then like princes and royal families are rich forever? Like, are we just watching new kings and stuff? Like people with just like ungodly numbers in their bank account, like that. Where's that money gonna go? You know, I mean, that's generational wealth, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, I mean,
because like eventually some of these people are just gonna be famous for being their kids or their.
That's been a thing that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, but it's just so funny that like at least there was something, you know, because like at least it comes from entertainment.
Yeah, now we got these fucking Brits trying to come over here and act like they can just be celebrities.
Whoa.
Well, by Brit, I guess there's only one Brit.
Is there like a wave? Oh, just the one?
The prince.
Ah, he wants to be.
They left the royal family trying to do this big expose, and now they're just like, oh, we're American celebrities now. And it's like, no, y'all are British. Like, fuck off. You know what I mean? You don't just get to pick that you're famous now.
The Trailer Park Boys are closer to American celebrities than they are.
Yes, right. Well, they're way more welcome. That's for sure.
If you asked me, I would agree.
Listen, this chick, she marries into the British royal family just to make this guy come back to America. I think she might suck. Maybe. I don't really care. I want nothing to do with them. Why are they here doing this? You know what I mean? Like, literally the only reason anybody knows who that guy is he's just somebody's kid.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, he just gets a deal? They signed some deal. They're going to be like on Apple TV or like one of the million streaming services we just talked about. And it's like, he's just somebody's kid. Fuck that guy. Who is he?
I don't know. He better be fucking lovable.
He's not. He's British. He's just a rich British guy. He's the most boring, like.
Who's the market for that show?
That's what I'm saying. Why would anyone in America give a fuck about these people?
I mean, when I see
and also like what,
this,
like why is this your solution to come here? Go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Y'all clearly just did all this to get famous. Like y'all are clout chasing.
Yeah. Or
if you wanted to get out of the royal family because it was terrible, why would you immediately just do it in the spotlight?
The money was okay.
And look for bigger spotlight afterwards. It's like if y'all just wanted out for like the piece of the future of your family, you could have just like bought a house. You know what I mean? It's
for
just
the
like
peace.
Whatever their excuse is.
And they decided to go on TV, and they wanted peace.
Well, I mean, the expose, quote unquote, of it, I guess, is a big reveal. I don't care, you know. That's the thing. I don't get why everybody just like gives a fuck about another place. Everything has to be such a big deal. Fuck England. We left. You know?
Yeah, that
Their
was the bit.
problems are their problem. I don't give a fuck. You know?
I don't care about a place other than here unless it's
And
fictional.
I mean, honestly, other than here, I mean, give me like a 2-mile radius from where I am at any given moment. That's about as much as I care about.
yeah, it's a live radius, like wherever I'm standing.
Exactly, yeah,
I
it's
care
like-
about everyone in that bubble always.
Exactly.
As it moves.
Right. Permanently.
But I don't have the time to go that
that's
far.
what I'm saying. It's just like you put all this thought, like you're just sitting around like, can you believe what goes on in the British royal family? It's like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't care. You know, like
I'm not in
I wish I had a
disbelief.
better punchline for that, but it's just like I literally have such little interest. Like the thought of that, what goes on in that family has literally never crossed my mind as a
Until
point
that
of interest.
sentence,
Yeah, like it has never been an interest of mine because it sounds like boring, horrible shit
What
that
am I
we
gonna gain?
abandoned 200 whatever years ago.
And they
It's just
abandoned
like-
too. Isn't all the royal family just what's the word for that? Ceremonial? No.
Yeah,
is it the word?
puppeteer. I know the word you're trying to say.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so but that word, like, isn't it just that thing?
Yes, it's all for show.
Yes.
I know, it's
Somebody
killing
hit
me.
us
I
with
can't think of it either.
It'll come up at the
Everybody
wrong time.
listening is screaming because
Hope-
it's
yeah.
so obvious what it is. Anyway,
Oh, we're not live. I tried to look out I tried to listen out the window.
tried to listen through. Kiss me through the phone if you're listening.
Oh, 3 seconds. That's fair use.
Yeah, you can use that. But it's I don't know. So they need to go back. Well, she can stay, I guess.
Is she from here?
Yeah, she's American. That's what I'm saying.
She's part of this
I-
clusterfuck. Send her back.
Yeah,
Or there.
I don't care about whatever her motives may or may not be, whether there's good intentions or not. They're not good anymore. They're just trying to make money, and they're going to make shows. Like, that's the thing.
And spin-offs.
Why do these motherfuckers need to come here and, like, start making shows? Let somebody else make shows.
Saying these motherfuckers sounds like we could
Prince?
be easily misunderstood.
Some stupid fucking prince is making TV shows? Like, is that not the most
TLC
horrific
shit you've
thing ever? Like,
heard.
if this is supposed to be the time of whatever inclusiveness and hating rich people and, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the show better
Equality
paint
and
them as villains.
diversity. We're picking a British royal to start making shit.
Are they the hero of their show? Or is it like, look at
No,
how
I
crazy
don't
these
know.
guys
They're
are?
making like humanitarian documentaries or some dumb shit like the Obamas are. Whatever. Who cares? But it's just like I don't want. What's this guy gonna do? He's just so not interesting.
There's 8 episodes
And
of
also, you
Invincible
know
out.
what? Like his hands are definitely dirty as fuck too. So it's like we're gonna pretend like he just spent his whole life in this horrific thing and wasn't involved at all. Bullshit.
Yeah, why do you think he's on TV now screaming about how bad it was?
Yeah, trying to get ahead of it, which is never the thing to do. You should never be screaming, I'm innocent and good. Like, it just, why are you yelling about that? Like, just
Yeah.
don't be a shithead. It's not hard.
Yeah, if you're right, we'll notice, and if you're
Yeah.
wrong, now
It-
you're a liar too.
It turns out most people that scream about how good they are and preach that other people are like, should be better and more like them, they're usually the shitty ones. Like,
Oh yeah. You don't see the way the world it is. You see it the way you are.
yeah, you can't, I don't know.
Meme-tastic.
Everybody's hiding. That's why, check my data.
Check my data.
What are you going to find?
I say that all the time when people tweet about like
People are so
oh,
mad. And you know who's mad? Regular American fat
What are you
poor
hiding?
people. It's like no one's interested.
Some
You're
people I
boring.
know get so mad, and I know their deepest, darkest secrets, and then it's like you are uninteresting still. I know
Yeah.
the worst thing you ever did. It's
Because
totally
the thing
fucking
is,
lame.
like, what are they doing? Selling me ads with it. Like, we know what they're
That's the
doing with
annoying
the
part.
data. But, like, yeah. But here's the thing.
'Cause they're just wrong.
The
They just
ads are...
take
No,
keywords.
they're getting good, though.
Are they?
I think so. I think Instagram
I
ads...
did buy a laser pointer.
I think Instagram ads are pretty effective. Like,
Instagram is good at it.
Instagram... Yes.
They give you shit you can buy.
2 things. Yes, you can easily buy it. 1, you can get a picture of it. 3, it's not intrusive like a YouTube ad where it's just like, oh, fuck me.
You can
No,
just go-
I can just go right past it. If it's in a story, I can just skip it. I don't mind that. And 2, at this point, with all the data they've collected of mine, they're good.
Yeah, true.
They used to be terrible. I heard somebody talk about this on a podcast recently.
That it is
The same thing.
better?
He was like, yeah, I bought like 2 things like just this last week. It used to, and he was like, it used to be, I wish I could remember who it was. Sorry. But
Addendum later.
yeah, but he was just like, it used to just be like shit from the Sky Mall catalog because it just knew I was a guy, you know? And it's like, yeah, it used to be shit that's like, oh, that's cool. And then you'd think about it for 1 second and it's like, oh, I would never buy this. Like, what a terrible thing. But no, now it's like, what's that thing you want deep down inside?
A replica lightsaber.
It like manifests a product that I didn't know existed. That's a combo of 3 things that I want. And it finds new things that I'm like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
It
I
does
like how
that.
like it'll sell you things that have options, but the option it shows in the thumbnail is like the one you would pick.
Yes, and then you swipe through it, and all the other things are not as cool. They
Yeah.
put the coolest thing in order, and it's
for
like,
you.
damn.
And it's like, wow.
And that's the thing is like,
it makes
if
me angry still.
if this is the
because-
product of you just knowing my browser history, it's like, okay.
yeah.
Because otherwise, what? You're gonna sell me like non-stick pans, and I'm gonna be like, get this out of here.
But like, how many times?
Because at least here's the thing: if you're already on Instagram, you're choosing what to see based on who you follow, right? So I'd rather have the ads also be things I'd like to look at too.
Yes, fair. Definitely fair.
You
And
know?
cool. I agree with you when you say Instagram nailed it because they did. Exactly.
That's also all I have at this point. I don't have a Facebook
That's all there is.
or a
Oh.
Snapchat or
I thought you meant on the subject, but I get you.
yeah.
That's about it though.
I don't have and then like YouTube ads they drive me fucking insane.
Facebook ads are garbage.
Are they? Which is weird. Same company, but I guess it's just because there's so much more in Facebook that it's harder to
I think-
pinpoint stuff.
Facebook has like too many iterations of an interaction, so like their algorithm is way too complex.
Right. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Which is just a billion features on Facebook.
Yeah, like based on like what I what portals in what order I bet, like weird.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, definitely it seems like the ads I would get on Facebook are the ones I get on Instagram if I left them in my pocket and washed my jeans.
Yeah. It's just it's like when you have to go to Burger King because everything else is closed.
Yeah, you drive past all these great options.
Yeah. But not today. The Chinese buffet, it's Monday. Chick-fil-A, it's Sunday.
Damn.
It's next to the Burger King, though. Fuck.
2 in a row if you did it backwards.
I like the tacos, though. I'll be very adamant about that.
From Burger King?
Yeah, they're good.
They are.
It's pretty much all I get.
Fried. What do you want? It's fucking that's all you need.
Yeah.
If you like Taco Bell, like if you back Taco Bell hard enough, like, and you want to say you won't eat a Burger King taco.
Well, see, people won't
Come
do
on.
it just because of the sentence, Burger King taco. But it's like Burger King food sucks. All fast food sucks. And it's just like a Burger King taco is better than a Taco Bell taco. Taco Bell tacos suck.
I think I only like the Doritos Locos Taco.
Well,
because
those
it's
are
hardly
good.
a
Those are
taco.
good. Yeah, they're different. That's
They're-
a different thing.
They're sandblasted with flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you could put the Doritos dust on a
Anything really.
on a burger right on a Burger King taco, it would be far superior to a Taco Bell.
100%, especially if you pulled it right out of the fryer. And
It's
then
the
like,
better
pop, pop.
taco. They ripped it off from Jack in the Box. I know
bet.
this
We
because
don't have a lot of those, right?
we don't have any. I don't think. I think maybe in Southern Illinois.
We had like one like really far. I've been to a couple.
Yeah, I just know this from vacationing as a child. It's like my dad's thing because they used to have them here. They were in Chicago when he was growing up.
So anytime you drive by one, you definitely have to go stop there.
No, he would make sure back in the day we would find out and print out on MapQuest where the
Oh.
Jack in the Box was. We would seek them out on purpose.
Printing out a map quest is like, well, let's make maps harder. Because it's just like,
No,
first
it
of all, it
made it
starts
easy.
from where your house is. You get a map, though.
How is a map easier?
Because it gives you a whole ass map.
Yeah. How's that easier?
I think I'm just first. I think
How
I'm
is
just,
that easier for turn-by-turn navigation on streets?
I think I'm just first worlding the shit out of it right now because like
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. A
'Cause I
map is
constantly
easier
fuck
to
up.
get you across the country, but it's like if I'm flying to Los Angeles, how's that going to help me get from my hotel to like a building? I'm gonna read the map. I'm gonna need a fucking magnifying glass, and I'm gonna have to know all the things. Turn-based direction is obviously the most efficient way. Like, what do you mean?
It is, but like I
Just wanted to
often-
have a take real bad.
No, I was putting myself in the shoes of the character, and I often miss the intended route, and I abuse the rerouting feature, where it's just like, okay, you fucked
Yeah,
up.
you're
Here's
one of those
what you
people.
do
It's
now.
horrific. It's like, what's the
Oh,
point?
it's so bad.
What's the point of using a GPS if you
Because I've
don't
learned
use it?
nothing. I've learned nothing.
It's
No, I
terrible.
use it, and only it. I like
But
whatever
you
part
don't
of
use
my
it. You
brain-
don't use it. You just said, like, you literally don't even pay attention to it. Like, you make it do everything for you. That's the thing. You need to
No.
use it as a tool and not as just like, it's not literally giving you directions. Like, you should be using it to learn how to get places.
Yeah, and I only recently started using it for that.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of people's
But the main
problem.
reason that I abuse the rerouting feature is not because I blatantly ignored it. I just, if it's hard, I won't do it. So I actively ignore it.
Hard. Nothing's hard.
For me,
All
almost
the
everything
streets
is.
have rules. You just follow the rules, and
I was
everybody can
never
get anywhere they want.
classically trained as a driver.
That doesn't make any sense. If you have a license, then you should know. That's your fault.
I went to Parallel Park for my driver's license test. I ended up further in the street than I started. And he said,
What does
"Where do you
parallel
live?"
parking have to do with your GPS following skills? You're just jumping
It was
all
more
over the place.
no, it was more of an explanation of those guys don't care. They'll give anybody a license. the guy.
Okay,
clearly didn't know what I was
but
doing.
like to this, how many years have you been driving? You still don't know what the fuck you're doing? Like, come on, this is on you.
It is. It is. I didn't blame anyone. Did
You
I?
just did. You literally just did. Like,
I was just saying it's very easy to get by without knowing.
it's
anything.
unbelievable how you can't track how the conversation you're having is going.
It is.
It's remarkable to watch.
I'm remarkable to watch.
Yeah, must see TV.
That's all I heard.
Yeah, brilliant.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Don't go breaking my.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Okay. I'm gonna give him. It's 3 seconds.
Ooh. I thought
we're
we
gonna get
both gonna come in.
deplatformed. No.
I thought we were both. That's the only reason I risked it. Risked the biscuit. I thought
That's what
about
Bruce
this
Arians
story in my head, and I never told it to the people around me. I'm gonna tell it to you real quick. There was a moment I had at one of my previous jobs. It was me and 2 other dudes. Somebody went bum 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 bum, and we all together started singing Sandman.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
That's,
so good.
that's a good moment. That sounds nice.
It was.
That's like the meaning of life. A moment like that. You know?
Honestly, yeah.
Those are some things that'll really just brighten your corners.
Because it wasn't like we didn't talk about it before. Like it just happened.
Yeah.
Anybody who knew it was doing it.
And that's why Omni-Man can't take over the planet.
No, things like that would be gone forever, lost.
Yeah.
Because what? Because we can't fly and chuck school buses?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's
Sounds like
pretty.
They don't even like each other.
I will also just add on one addendum. It is pretty. The resolution was pretty whack. Like, oh, he just left, and then they're just like, when's he gonna come back? And they're just like, yeah, he'll come back.
Oh, we can afford his
The-
action scene.
And then, but it was both funny and cheesy, and literally cheesy. Like that was pretty much what they said.
yeah.
They're like, yeah, he'll be back eventually, but probably not that soon. So we can do a couple more seasons before we have to worry about resolving this.
exactly.
And it's like, okay, at least y'all are aware, I guess. But like, could we just come up with something? You know,
It's just crazy to
if that goes back to like the Jay and Silent Bob reboot argument. It's just like we could have just done better. You know, like you can make all the excuses you want
didn't
for
have to
for
suck.
your fans hating it, and it's just like you could have just made a better movie. You know, and I don't know.
How come there's not
You
like
could just
like
try.
why don't they just immediately get fans involved at least like in weird
And here's the thing:
tests?
of all people, you would think Kevin Smith would have done something like that by now, because he's just been nothing but a fanboy of everything. Like, he has written so many comic book scripts, for example, because he just loves them so much, and obviously he's a writer, but
on both accounts.
yeah, so I don't know. You would almost think that he would want to involve his fans more in some way in his movies.
Do you think on
He
this
understands the
specific
culture
movie,
better
it was
than
just like
anybody.
he was like, I got this. I know what you guys want.
I don't know. I just can't even speculate on it. That movie was just so disappointing. And also, again, I just really love
There's like
Strikes Back. I think that it's really underrated.
I agree, and I've always said this.
Also, like earlier today, actually, I was just thinking about how much I love Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Just like in the history of my life. I saw Chris Rock live for the first time when I was like 5 years old. He was at the Rosemont Theater.
Oh,
I
man.
barely understood a lot of it, but it was a very important experience, I would say, and I remember some of it a little bit. But I also loved a lot of his movies as a kid. Like I loved CB4. That movie's really underrated.
Holy yeah, I haven't even heard of it.
Oh, it's awesome. So he's like just a guy, and he just sees a bunch of thugs. Basically, him and his buddies pretend to be like the guys in NWA, and they start like a rap group, and then people find out that they're fake.
Oh, cool.
And shit. And it's hilarious. That movie's really good. I used to love Down to Earth.
Heard of it, haven't seen it.
So it's one of those movies like The New Guy where the critical thing is like 0%, and it's like, I mean, this isn't a masterpiece, but it definitely isn't even bad. I love Down to Earth. I think it's really underrated. That movie is about, he plays a stand-up comic who dies, but he wasn't supposed to die. So when he goes to heaven, they reincarnate him into a rich white guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's super good. What else? And then Strikes Back. I mean, he was great in that. Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, Dogma. Yeah.
All of those movies were super important. I don't know how I got to this, just talking about Kevin Smith, but I was literally thinking about this earlier today because I walked
2
past.
degrees of separation.
I walked past one of the posters for Spiral.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, man, Chris Rock has really just been amazing forever. I just
Forever.
love him so much. He's so good.
Yeah. The only thing you might maybe be able to hold against him is his participation in Grown Ups.
Yeah.
Other than
Grown
that-
Ups is so fucking terrible.
It just sounds like they're like, hey, do you guys want to chill and make $1 million? And they're like, yeah, bet.
But it's just like, it's like you guys are supposed to be good at, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. Like you could just be better. It's the same type of thing.
It's insulting. Like I don't.
It really
understand
is
why more
insulting.
People don't get mad at watching that. I'm like, you bought this, and even if you're
People
stealing
loved
it,
that movie.
someone
People
bought that.
loved Grown Ups.
My parents are 2 of them.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, how are you not angry at the... Yeah, I agree. Like, how are you not furious at the screen? I saw it in theaters. I was literally, like, livid as it was going on. It's like,
Oh, I'd be
This
extra
is-
mad there.
this is unbelievable that this
Yeah.
is even allowed. And then we made, like, $250 million or something crazy.
I know.
And then they made a second one. It's like, come on.
Does that happen like as you get older? You just
It
like
just
you
happens.
turn off, and you're like, oh, I remember him from when he was good, and that's
No,
just
I don't
enough.
know. I don't know. Adam Sandler just has something to him that he just gets away with it. I don't know. It's
Cool.
rare. It's rare.
Is
I
that why
mean,
you think I look like him? Because I do feel like I have a touch of dumb luck in that area.
No, you
I-
just have a similar shaped head. Is mostly what it is.
Yeah, I said that at the table once. That you'd say I look like Adam Sandler. I was like, I don't see it. And I'm wearing a mask and a giant red hat.
There's a similarity there.
Yeah,
Trust me.
I'm not knocking it. I'm into it.
But I do want to see Spiral just because I love Chris Rock so much.
Yeah, and I'm down.
You got to watch Down to Earth. I'm telling you. There's definitely.
I mean,
Hold on, let me just see. There's definitely a movie that I'm forgetting it's gonna bother me if I don't mention it.
tight.
He was also in New Jack City and played that crackhead. You ever see that?
I have not. What's New Jack City about?
Crack in New York.
Tight.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes.
I gotta watch
Let's
that.
see. Also, I mean, just like his specials were crazy, like Bigger and Blacker, Never Scared. Like those were amazing. I remember
Oh, yeah.
watching those.
As a comic alone, he's a legend.
Yeah, like yeah, more so than anything. But I went to the tour for the last one too. That ended up being Tambourine. I saw that in person too. That was awesome. Let's see. God, he was in a lot of shit in the 90s. Yeah, see? Oh, dude, Dogma and Down to Earth were almost back to back too. What a late 90s he had. Osmosis Jones, of course.
Osmosis Jones.
Very
Bill Murray.
another underrated movie. Yeah, but the live action parts are terrible. That's the Farrelly brothers' fault though.
You think it could have been done better, or it just shouldn't have been done? It should have been strictly animation.
Oh, it just shouldn't have been the Farrelly brothers. I mean, they're terrible.
Okay.
Other than Dumb and Dumber, and I like Stuck on You. There's a couple of good examples that
Stuck
they've
on
had.
You. Is that when the dudes are
Conjoined, yeah.
and
And Eva Mendes is as hot as anyone has ever been in a movie, and I was 9.
Yeah, that
Or
added
however old I was.
together is nuclear.
But
Even
that
just
movie's
one of
incredible.
those.
Matt Damon is funny as fuck. Like, he's a really skilled comedic actor, just because he's a good actor, period.
Do
But
you know the name of the other guy?
Greg Kinnear.
I love that guy, and I'm so sorry, Greg, that I
He's
just now learned your name.
excellent in that movie. That movie is really funny.
Another one
like that movie
remember
a lot.
with him is Mystery Men. Probably not a great movie. But
Oh,
I liked it.
Mystery Men's okay. Ben Stiller is sneaky good
Yeah.
because he's doing more than it seems like. That's the thing.
Isn't he usually involved in
I just think
everything?
that when I was a kid, well, yeah, he's a big time director, writer. That's part of it too. You don't realize that, like, as a kid. That was what I didn't get. I also didn't get that he was in on the jokes. You know what I mean? Like, if you see Zoolander when you're 7,
Yeah, like, well, look at this idiot, but he knows.
well, it seems like, yes, it just seems like it's like Grown-Ups. Like, it's just silly.
yeah.
You know, so that was hard for me to always pick up on
That
when I was like
level
a
of,
little kid.
Satire,
I didn't start
you can't-
I didn't start appreciating Ben Stiller for a while.
I definitely did
Till I was older, in my teens at least, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But he's good. I think that was really it for my Chris Rock thing. That was the one that I missed. He's been in a lot of fucking movies, though. Jesus. I still haven't seen Top 5. I really want to see that.
Is that newer?
Yeah. It was like 7 years ago, this says. He directed and wrote it, and it's like about him. It's like about a stand-up who's like successful, so it's probably really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Everybody Hates Chris was fun.
It was all right. Yeah.
When did that come out?
Early 2000s, I think.
Yeah.
We love you, Chris.
TV was so different then.
Oh yeah.
Like just
the
like
sitcom,
my perception
the
of it too.
sitcom is dead.
Truly.
Well, hopefully we'll see Spiral and report back. Yeah. Oh, big news that I didn't mention just on the outro here. I didn't really do any of the plugs, but the Multiplex album, we got some of it back. Sounds fucking incredible. So more news on that to come, but we're getting there. So that's dope.
Yeah.
Go check out the merch, rfat.bigcartel.com. Rate, review, subscribe to this show. Any and all platforms, Apple, Spotify. We're going to stay on all of them, even though they're both the king. And don't forget, I are fat. You are fat. We are fat. Calculator.